What does learning how to practice look like?
You know, one of the things I talk, and me and you've talked about it a million times, is just what does our practice look like? You know, it's controlled chaos. I mean, you watch it, you see what we look like. It's, you know, as I say, first two groups here, threes and fours here, a 7-on-7 going here, pass rush here. I mean, it's just very organized. I mean, we take breaks at the first practice that simulate starting a game and halftime and all of those things that try and simulate a game. And as we talk all the time about safety and protecting ourselves, yet going hard, you know, and competing against each other and protecting each other. So all that's a big balance. And I told them, you know, what, day 5 in, of course, full day, first day in full pads, very similar to our shells. We got to, you know, we got to start getting that. And I think we saw some of that today. They're starting to see what it looks like. You know, the intensity is just, it's really so much different than anything they've ever seen. So I think they're starting to adapt, but we still got a long way to go.
Scrimmage tomorrow, or is that another week?
Just another week. You know, just another practice this week. We've got, you know, we still got stuff we're installing, and you know, next week we'll get into that end of the week scrimmage or mock scrimmage or whatever. But you know, next week will be a good on good full scrimmage.
Yeah. What do you guys do right now? Just is it mostly installing team stuff and not really so much focusing on any other teams yet, or?
Yeah, we're not talking about any other teams right now. We're just working on us, and we got plenty to still get in and correct. And you know, I mean, and our playbooks are pretty big, so it's like I said, it's organized chaos. You know, with the offense and defenses. They tell each other what they're doing as far as formations, and you know, and it's just adapting to that, you know, each day.
What all did you see today with your guys in full pads? Anything that?
Well, we start off with a board drill. You know, we've been starting off with a fast-paced tempo type drill, and it's you know, and I talk a lot about that. It's just really how should contact look? I mean, we want to see the guy. We don't want to duck our head. You know, it should be two guys here with their eyes up, hands inside, and one guy's trying to drive another off the board. And I think, you know, when we say there's 11 of those across the field, 11 one-on-one matchups that go on for 70 and 80 snaps and then the special teams, and each guy learns that, you know, he's that important. So I think that's a great teaching time, kind of set the pace for, you know, what our team looks like. So we don't do a lot of that, but that's a good way to start practice.
Overall pleased with how today went, or is there?
I was. I mean, you know, I don't know if any coach is ever really pleased. I mean, you know, it's just, I told them, I said, what we've got to do is we've got to not make the same mistake tomorrow that we made today. And that, when you're putting in a volume of items, you know, this playbook, and you know, there's things that's just that they're going to mess up on, and we understand it. It's correcting those. You know, how is he in the meetings? Is he really listening? Does he make corrections when we come back to meetings? How is he? Does he hold the mirror up to himself and you know, be hard on himself and try and correct himself? So I think we grew today, and if we can just keep growing every day, you know, we'll have a chance.
What is Hayden's value to the offense?
You know, I think Hayden's one of those guys that can do a lot of things. Obviously, he's really strong. He's obviously compact, explosive, really, really good hands, and you know, kick returns. Handing the ball on speed sweeps and getting in the ball in open space, but then you can stick him in the backfield when you need to. I said, you know, so those multi-purpose, real football player kind of guys that can play a bunch of positions are great to have. And you know, when you see him in one-on-ones, he's really dynamic.
So he's likely to be one of your kick returners?
Yeah, he could definitely be a kick returner. We've got 3 or 4 guys I think that's got a shot, but I mean, he's that guy that's really fast but still real strong, and those guys are hard to tackle.
Where do you turn at the tight end position with those two guys out?
Well, you know, Logan Scott kind of came out of the spring as a starter anyway. Hayden Pittman is really, you know, was moving up the depth chart anyway. And then, you know, we've got other guys that, you know, Galton will probably get a look over there. And Pickering, of course, was there, and I don't want to leave him out. You know, he's really the guy we think of when we say hand in the dirt for 12 personnel and former O-lineman. So there's a good guy. We worked Ben back over there today. So we've got options. You know, it was tough. Tony Ransom is a guy that, you know, that also plays there. So obviously just awful day to lose those guys. Just really hate it for those kids. But, you know, we've got to keep going, and the next guy's got to step up.
So Galton, the offensive lineman?
Galton will work over there as well.
Does he move to there full time, or
no,
just certain?
No, we'll work him in certain situations. He's still a lineman.
Yeah. What has Pittman shown you?
I tell you, Pittman was a guy in high school that had some other places he could be, but he wanted to be here, and he's gained weight. He's gotten stronger. He was a really good receiver in high school. You know, he's got a lot of good football in front of him, so we're really excited about him. Really loves the weight room. Really got good hands, so he's got a big future ahead.
You know, Scott, I think he had a knee injury in JUCO, but is he good?
He did.
now?
We fixed it this summer, so we're, you don't see him in everything we're doing because we're nursing him back. He's going about, half the practice doing some rehab, but he's fixed, and we just don't want to rush him. So he's getting practice, but he had a really good spring.
How different is Lee DeFord now as compared to 2014 when you had him?
Yeah, he's totally different, and I think we challenged Lee. Lee's such a good young man that, and I say this all the time, when you get good young men, sometimes you just, okay, he comes to practice every day, he's got a good attitude, and you don't challenge him. And, we told him he's got to raise his level because he's a guy that gets asked a lot of questions even though he was a freshman, because he stayed around. And, sometimes it's hard for all of us just to make sure those things don't go to our head. And we just all got to work. And I've seen a really big step out of him, and we all got to keep getting better. He's taken a big step since the spring. Like I said, he's a great young man for us. He was here for 14, but he, just from a player standpoint, we wanted him to raise his level, and he's doing that.